And back here in Washington, tensions are high on Capitol Hill after the Senate has once again failed to pass a continuing resolution to reopen the federal government. The Senate voting on a pair of resolutions that for the seventh time that would fund the government through November 21st. The Democratic bill included measures that would extend the assistance for the Affordable Care Act, which was set to expire for millions of Americans. Republicans insist that so-called Obamacare is broken and must be cut back. Here's how President Trump summed up the stalemate during a cabinet meeting earlier today.
The shutdown has been, pretty damaging. I mean, it's not yet because it's early, but it gets a little bit worse as it goes along. And we'll be making cuts that will be permanent. And we're only going to cut Democrat programs. I hate to tell you. I guess that makes sense. But we're only cutting Democrat programs.
Democrat House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries says that things are not going to change until Republicans decide to get serious about a bipartisan negotiation. And for more on this, I'm joined now by Democratic Congressman Brad Schneider of Illinois. And Congressman, we're now on day 9 of this shutdown. We've seen the messages from Leader Jeffries. It still seems like there's no indication of progress. So ultimately, what ends this standoff?
Well, I think Leader Jeffries has been very clear about this. When the Republicans are willing to get serious, to sit at the table and talk in good faith, negotiate with Democrats, we can move forward. Democrats were in Washington this week. I was there. I came back last night. Wanting to sit down with our Republican colleagues, saying that there's got to be a way to find common ground, to work to craft a solution to move us forward. But the Republicans have refused to work with Democrats from day one of this Congress, day one of this Trump administration. Trump has been cutting programs, firing employees left and right with DOGE, reneging on agreements with the rescissions and his big bag ugly bill. So there's a complete lack of trust and a complete unwillingness by the Republicans to work with Democrats and find a solution.
Well, a Washington Post poll shows that 47% of Americans currently blame President Trump and congressional Republicans for this shutdown, compared to 30% that blame Democrats. But I would also point out that there's still a large swath of those surveyed, some 23%, that aren't sure. I'm curious, how sure are you that the majority of Americans will agree with the stance that Democrats have taken and that this won't blow up in your face?
Well, here's what I'm sure of. Americans don't want to experience the biggest health increase in health insurance premiums in our country's history. If Congress doesn't act, and what the Democrats are fighting for is protect Americans' health care, if Congress doesn't act swiftly, Americans are going to experience, on average, if they get their insurance through the Affordable Care Act, 114% increase. Many will see those premiums not just double, but triple. And it's estimated that 22 million Americans will suffer those increases. That's more people than live in the largest 6 cities in our country. And Democrats are fighting to make sure that we protect healthcare, lower costs, make living easier for American families. Republicans are insistent on shutting down the government and protecting their billionaire friends and fighting. I mean, we should be Grijalva, they won't even swear her in because they're worried about the Epstein files. They want to hide the ball. They want to extend their vacation. We're in Washington. We want to keep working and find a way to move forward.
Well, I want to point out your colleague, Republican Congressman Mike Lawler of New York, he joined Arcura Phillips earlier today, and he was asked about the fight over health care costs at the heart of the shutdown. I want you to take a listen to what he had to say.
So there's a lot that we can do and should do to actually address the issue of cost, the issue of access, the issue of the workforce, and the issue of prescription drugs here in America. But you don't do that during a government shutdown. It's not going to reduce costs. And in fact, it's costing the government more money every day this shutdown stays in effect. And Chuck Schumer had the audacity to say that every day is getting better for us. Are you kidding me? Every day is getting worse for the American people.
Well, and so look, I mean, there are Republicans that have said that they were open to negotiating on health care, but they wanted to pass a clean CR first. Why not pass a clean CR and then get to health care?
Well, first, it's not a clean CR. This is a CR that the Republicans soiled last March when they passed the bill. Every House Democrat voted against it. The Republicans dirtied the CR when they passed their big, ugly bill. President Trump and the Republicans made it even more incomplete or more sullied when they cut out funding that we had agreed to with the rescission package that cut public broadcasting funds, that cut foreign aid funds. They have time and again over the last 9 months gone against agreements they have made, refused to sit down and negotiate in good faith. When Mike Lawler's talking about you don't negotiate when the government shut down, the government was open for 9 months before September 30th. We could have sat down any day during that period to work out an agreement to find that common ground. Republicans chose not to. They would rather shut down the government, prevent people from getting health care. President Trump's out doing everything he can, not to help American families, but to harm and hurt families, hurt workers, hurt children. And we're standing up and saying, we're not going to allow that to happen. We're going to protect Americans' health care. We're going to make sure that we work to lower the cost of living for American families. And we will work to make sure that government operates responsibly, but that both sides need to negotiate in good faith and uphold the agreements that we make.
All right. Congressman Brad Schneider, thank you.
Thank you.